Hey guys, my name is Dr. Bali. This is my beautiful wife, Dr. Jess. We're both proud owners of Reset Chiropractic and Rehab in London, Ontario. So there's only 95 days left in 2024, and it's been a pretty crazy year for us. We grew our team, and now we're looking to become the healthiest versions of ourselves. A lot of people will begin their health journey in 2025 on January 1st, but we're wanting to take the initiative today.
I think it'll be good for us to start now. I think this time of year for us in clinic and in life tends to be, like many others, super crazy. With all of the holidays, with a lot of the kids going back to school, there's always lots of germs going around. And then, of course, being in clinic, this tends to be our craziest, busiest time of year, just with everybody trying to get in before the new year and people being back from their summer vacation. So I think that if we can succeed to create some really healthy habits during this time of year, that we should be able to maintain those habits when things are less hectic as well. And I think for us, some important reasons why we want to get healthy, of course, is to set an example and to be there to support our patients. But I think we're wanting to have kids within the next couple of years as well. And we want to do that sort of when we're at our best and healthiest selves. And I think it would be good to create some habits now so that when we have our kids, we can sort of show them what kind of example and how to take care of themselves and show their bodies some love as well.
And I also want to play sports with them without getting tired.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, my wife and I, we both went to Life Labs and got our blood work done. And we also did an in-body scan at our local gym.
So with this health journey that we're taking, we wanted some ways that we could track our progress. And I mean, hoping that, if we're very consistent, we'll be able to see some tiny, minute changes every day. But this is a way for us to track things a little bit more over time. So I know with the lab tests, we did one a couple weeks ago, sort of at the start, and we're hoping to do that again towards the end of our journey, just to kind of see what progress was made there. And then the in-body scan, which sort of monitors your percent body fat, your skeletal muscle, things like that. We're hoping to do on a bit more of a regular monthly basis. I think that'll be really cool. In addition to that, I think we're hoping to take some progress pictures and share those and see, what kind of changes are made there. I think those are the big three, right?
Absolutely. And, my wife and I, we both have different health challenges.
Yeah.
So I think her cholesterol level is like really, really good. Mine definitely needs some work. So I'll just go over some of the stuff that we're trying to improve on in our blood work.
Yeah.
So my HDL is currently about 1.02. We're trying to have that to be about 1.3 to 1.5. So the HDL is your good cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
And it protects against inflammation. And the higher the number basically means there's less chance of having a heart attack or stroke. And if you're under one, that puts you at risk for developing metabolic syndrome, which is a pretty significant thing. And it's a scary thing as well. Also, my LDL is about 3.8. It should be 3.5, but we want to get it lower to like about 2. That's your bad cholesterol. And, the higher the LDL or the bad cholesterol, the more clogs there are in your arteries, which can put you at risk for higher blood pressure, heart attacks, and strokes once again. So those are the two numbers that I'm trying to really bring down. And the only way that I can bring that down is focusing on my nutrition and stop eating shawarmas.
So for me, Arjun's totally right. We definitely have different challenges. And it's kind of interesting to see because I think in some ways we're both predisposed to different things with our family history. So for me, one of the things that I definitely need to improve, and it's been something that I've been working on, is my vitamin D levels. So currently my vitamin D levels are at a 62, which is low. That's quite low. And ideally, That's something that I'm going to really be able to improve over the next 95 days. Last time I had it checked, this is a positive thing. It was lower than what it currently is. So I have been working on it this year, but I do just want to continue to see that number rise. Besides that, I have also had a high level of thyroid peroxidase antibody, which is basically the number that reflects that there are cells in my body that are sort of fighting against my thyroid. Now, the positive thing here is that none of my other numbers in my thyroid panel are affected. So, right now, from a medical standpoint, they're not concerned, but it's something that they need to monitor. For me, I would just love for that number to be where it needs to be. I'm interested to see if we make some positive health changes, if that will improve as well. Next, we wanted to talk a little bit about the in-body scan that we did at our local gym. So we're just going to pull out those sheets and I will pop some of this information on the screen as well, just while we're talking about it.
So I'll just go over some basic stats for myself. So I'm about 5'11. I'm a 31-year-old male, and my current weight is about 198.4 pounds. So my body fat mass is about 26.5 pounds, which means I need to lose about 26.5 pounds of fat.
Yeah, according to this.
According to the scanner. And my basal metabolic rate is about 1803. So I think that means like when my body's at rest when I'm sleeping, my body needs to burn 1803 calories in order to function.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool that that's what I need. But in terms of, I don't really care about the BMI because like you can be like super jacked and still be considered obese. Not to say that I'm jacked, by the way, but
on your way.
On my way. All right. What is your stance?
Yeah. So for me, I am also 31 years old, female, barely 5'3", and my current weight is 153 pounds. And my current body fat is 35.4. So that on here is considered quite high. They're showing on here ideally that they want females to be between 18 and 28% body fat. So obviously I would love to be within that normal range. For me right now, I just want to see an improvement over the 95 days. This in-body scanner is saying that I need to lose about 24 pounds. So that would bring me to about 129 pounds. And my current basal metabolic rate, or the number of calories that I need to sort of survive in a day, is 1343. So that's what they're taking into consideration before activity.
When you're embarking on a health and wellness journey, there's multiple things that you need to look out for. Sleep is a really big thing, in my opinion.
I think sometimes people overvalue a lot of really little things. For example, what supplements they're taking, red light therapy. And I think if you're not doing some of the big things, then what's the point of starting some of the little things if you're really not mastering those big things?
And honestly, like, sleep is really important. I remember when I was in chiro school, I was only getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep because I was super stressed for exams. And I think cognitively, you feel slower, you feel more bloated the next day. I think it causes further stress on your body. It actually increases your hunger too. Oh. It messes with, well, a lot of people say it messes with hormones. It does, and one of the hormones it messes with is leptin, which is one of your hunger hormones. So some strategies that we have in and around sleep. I think this is something that you and I, when we're trying to do well at it, we do a really good job of it. And I think with it being this time of year, it's going to be easier for us to kind of wind down and get to bed. I think sometimes when it's bright out until 9:30 at night and you're trying to go to sleep at 10 or 10:30, that's kind of hard to get those full hours of sleep if you're not even able to wind down until 11 or 12, a couple hours after it gets dark out in the summer. So I think with the daylight sort of shortening, that'll make it easier. One of the strategies I think you and I do really, really well at home is we won't turn on any crazy harsh lights. So we have a lot of lamps around our house in all the different rooms that we'll turn on. And I think that's helpful. Something else that we do, partially because we're cheap, but mostly because we don't like being too hot,
when it gets when it gets cold in the winter, but we're turning the heat on, is we set our thermostat super low, and it's set super low even throughout the summer. Our AC is always on full blast. We don't like being hot. So that is another strategy to get some good sleep, is make sure that your thermostat is set in and around 19 and a half, 20, 21 degrees. If you're too warm, it's going to be really hard for your body to settle down, wind down, and go to sleep.
Absolutely. Stress, managing stress, I think is a huge thing.
Yeah.
I think like with my recent scare of going to the hospital, I kind of realized life is like really short. And you might be stuck at a job, or you might be dealing with some family issues, or you might have like difficult relationships, or maybe you're not confident. There's different types of stresses out there. I think making sure that you have a good emotional support system through family, friends, or colleagues is a huge importance. And if you still feel like you're not getting the appropriate support that you need, definitely speaking to like a social worker, a counselor, or a psychologist, just because they can give you strategies on how to help yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think getting good sleep also plays into stress management as well.
For sure.
I think if you're sleeping like crap, you're going to feel like crap. You're going to be more stressed. And, if you are somebody who, especially if you have health insurance benefits, get out there, go for a massage. Even if you're going once a month, once every couple of months, that'll really help just to get some relaxation, get some of your muscles worked on, and help to relieve some stress as well.
Well, even with chiropractic adjustments, I've noticed that, whenever I adjust a patient and they're super stressed, sometimes that can even give them that emotional release that they need.
Yeah.
And, go see a chiropractor, go for a massage therapy, go speak to someone, go play a sport. Like there's different ways you can manage your stress.
Yeah.
But ultimately you need to figure out the outlet that's going to work for you.
Yeah, I agree.
So we do have a local gym that we go to, and we also have an in-house gym in our apartment building. So we don't have any real excuses. And I think when you're setting up a workout plan, I think it's not about working out every day or going on the cardio machine for like 3 hours a day. It's about pushing yourself to go 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
You're doing strength training to preserve lean muscle mass or build lean muscle mass to help you improve your metabolism.
Yeah, and also just feel better. I've so many patients who struggle with pains, and sometimes I think it is we're sitting for work, we're sitting to relax after work, and sometimes I just think we need a little bit of movement. Getting that little bit of movement in, especially when we're cooped up during the winter time, sort of sitting around and indulging a little bit more, I think it could make you feel good, and it's good to get those endorphins.
Absolutely. And I think like when you go to the gym, you may have like questions about reps and sets and things like that. But I think at this moment in time, if you're a novice to working out, it doesn't really matter how many reps and sets you're doing. Just go out there, get some movement, obviously lift within like reasonable limits and what you're comfortable with. And I'm sure there's a ton of YouTube videos out there that can also help you like figure out what reps and sets you should be hitting.
I think for us, our goal over the next 95 days is to get into the gym or get into a workout, go for a run at least 4 days a week. I'm going to be starting soccer next month, and I haven't played soccer in 10 years. So I definitely want to get my cardio back up. Arjun and I went out and we were kicking a soccer ball around last week, and we couldn't believe how out of breath we were. And so definitely want to improve my cardio, but I want to stay strong as well. And I want to be strong for a while, especially with work, to be able to adjust people well. So I think for us, it's going to be doing some endurance activity at least once a week. And when I say that, I mean 45 minutes or longer. I have a bike that I also sometimes use as well, just while I'm watching some YouTube videos. Then 3 days a week, I want to be doing full body strength training just to maintain and build some muscle.
And I think like another component to the health and wellness journey is nutrition. You can never outwork a bad diet.
Yeah.
I know that's a huge saying, but what does that actually mean? And what does that mean for you?
And you know this, but for years now, I have put work and work ahead of pretty much everything, including my nutrition. So we've always, I think, gravitated to convenience. And a lot of times, even if it was healthy food, we would order it out just for convenience sake. And I think now, in the last couple of months with your healthcare and stuff, we've created some positive habits and we're ordering out less. But I think we still have this goal of trying to eat even less processed foods and also trying to eat more of a variety of some of the healthier foods as well, because we have our preferences. I know for a while there, you and I used to just buy broccoli and that was always our vegetable, but I think now we're trying to sort of create a bit of variety with some of the fruits and veggies we're buying too.
Yeah, like, for me with the whole cholesterol thing, one thing that I need to be a bit more cognizant about is the saturated fat intake that I'm having per day. I know the American Heart Association says, only 15% of your total calories for the day should be allocated towards like saturated fats. So for me, that's about like 15 grams of saturated fats I can eat per day. So I'm now eating only like one egg a day. I'm still having my protein bread in the morning. I'll have a couple of frozen blueberries because that always makes me feel good. I try to eat one banana and apple a day.
Yeah.
Just because they spike up my sugar, but they're natural sugars, so why not?
Yeah. They keep you full too because there's some fiber, right?
Some fiber, yeah, and then
some volume.
Being East Indian, I now make black lentils once a week. It's a form of high fiber and high protein.
It's super cozy also, and such a great meal for when you're feeling a little bit under the weather. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so tasty and warm.
And we've actually eliminated mostly red meat from our diet because of the saturated fat content. And, we don't do any turkey sausages anymore or chicken sausages or turkey or bacon just because of the sodium nitrates that are inside those foods.
What are our kind of top goals with nutrition, would you say? Just saturated fats?
Saturated fats and basically limiting our food from outside.
Yeah.
Are we going to be social? Absolutely.
Yes.
So, if someone's having a birthday, of course we're going to go out, but we're going to try to scan the menu and look for some of the healthier options.
Yeah. And we also, we have a trip coming up. We're going to be going away later on in this process. And obviously we want to be able to enjoy that, but I think it's just about when you're in that scenario, eating in moderation. And also same thing with the holidays.
But also like later on in our YouTube videos that we'll be posting, we'll definitely show you some cool twists on foods that you think will be enjoyable, but making them more high protein and more fibrous.
Yes.
So that's another thing.
Some healthy swaps.
So what we're gonna say is definitely you're gonna be posting videos on a weekly basis just to track our progress, give you some updates on how we're getting along. But feel free to shoot us any emails, DMs, or throw in any comments in the YouTube section on how you're coping and how you're going to be using the next 95 days to get in the best shape of your life.
Yeah.
And subscribe to this channel and let's try to make it a positive and healthy day for the rest of the day.
Awesome. We'll see you guys next week.